I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today on a Sunday afternoon. We're here to discuss the hiring of Jim Montgomery as the head coach of the St. Louis Blues. We're excited to have Jim part of our staff for this year and 4 more, so a total of almost 5 total. And it's a good day for the Blues. Jim's someone I've respected, had an opportunity to work with and respect, and his record in amateur hockey and pro hockey speaks for itself. So I think it's a great day for the franchise. And with that information, I'll open up to any questions.
Hey, Army, what was the biggest downfall, in your opinion, at least up to this point of the season, which has led you to this decision? And is this a decision that was maybe accelerated with the fact that Jim Montgomery was available?
Yeah, Andy. When I woke up Wednesday morning, there was no inclination to make a coaching change. And then when Jim got let go in Boston, it certainly was someone I've respected, someone I admired, someone I felt had all the attributes to be a long-term coach for the Blues, and it started down that process. So this was more of an opportunity to get someone of Jim's caliber than anything else. I think the year, we've had to deal with our situations off the ice with some injuries, and everyone deals with that. But this decision was based, I would say, almost 100% on having someone of Jim's caliber become available when, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Doug, Jeremy, from that moment on, can you kind of take us through the past couple of days, maybe your connection with Jim, and how receptive he was, and just the number of times maybe you spoke in the past couple of days leading up to it?
Yeah, I think I'll just keep that between Jim and I. The process is the process behind the scenes, and I guess it's behind the scenes for a reason. Today we're here to talk about the future and having Jim here, and I don't think there's any benefit for me to rehash the last little bit.
Doug, did you sense that the way things were going, this team was headed to the playoffs?
Well, obviously our record would indicate no, we're not headed to the playoffs. I think our season to date has fluctuated. We're obviously having a hard time on both ends of the special teams, and then our scoring goals, and that's obviously not a good recipe to have success. I think having Letty and Broberg out at the same time is something that you have to deal with, and we've seen growth from certain players, and but I think getting those 2 guys back will help stabilize things, and losing Robert like we did took away from the offense, and it hasn't come back since he's been back. So we have our work to do. We have a lot of things that Jim has to get organized to his satisfaction, and we're ready to move ahead.
Doug, it's Lou. I know it's not a big sample size, but how would you assess Drew's job performance?
Yeah, when I talked to Drew today, I told him that again this was more of a decision based on the availability of someone I think is a top NHL coach, someone that we have experience with, someone Lou that I really do believe can coach this team and also coach the team when it reaches its ultimate level of competitiveness. He's done that. He's worked with younger players in the USHL and in college. Good success in Dallas, good success in Boston. So he's one of those coaches that I really do believe can be with this team now and as it grows. And I think the proof of that is the 5-year commitment, and what one of the things I think is the next part for Jim's career is to get that longevity in one spot. And I look at someone like John Cooper now. He's the standard bearer of what everyone wants to be, a competitive coach year in, year out, deals with different players, deals with players coming and going, and finds a way to stay competitive. And that's Jim's next goal, is to stay in St. Louis, and I hope it's for well over a decade. And but we're going to start tomorrow. But as far as Drew, I when I talked to Drew today, it was it was the situation that we were in, a young coach learning. Learning with young players. It wasn't an easy situation for him to walk into. I thought he did a good job. He was making mistakes. We were all making mistakes, and that's how you get better. And I thought, I'm sorry. Yeah, and so Drew was learning as we went on, and as I said, I was more than prepared to go through the peaks and the valleys with Drew until Monty became available, and then it just felt that might not be there over the next few years. I didn't know when the next opportunity would come, and I felt it was the right thing for the Blues franchise to get someone like Monty in here when we could. But to answer that, Lou, I thought Drew was doing a good job learning as he was going.
Sorry.
Doug, what skills does Monty have as a coach that you admire and can apply to your team?
Well, he certainly has a very positive demeanor. Works well with the top players in the organizations that he's been with. Has the ability, as from what he's done, and again, I don't want to go back too far to the USHL winning or college hockey, but he understands and works well with younger players. Then you fast forward to Bergeron and that group that he worked well with in Boston. So I think he's got a wealth of experience, and he's at a really the prime of his coaching career now, and we're the benefactors of that. I just think he's the full package, or at least we hope he's the full package.
Doug, to the fans that have been with you guys through this retool, what is this statement today?
It really, nothing has changed on that. Like when I think, when we first talked about the retool, we used the LA model, 3-4 years, and we're a year and a half into it. One of the things that we're doing is we're waiting on Dvorsky and Snuggerud and Stenberg and Lindstein. Now your check, these are 5 first-round picks that we were excited about having, and we're not going to, they get here when they're ready to get here, and what we're trying to do is put a competitive team and do what we did last summer, is go out and try and bring players in without giving up, top picks, top assets to do it, and relying on our veteran players. And so I think that it just, having Jim here now goes back to my previous answer, that I think he can coach a team that's evolving and then coach a team that is evolved and ready to win. And I think that he has that ability to do that. And it reminds me a little bit about when we brought Ken in, over a decade ago, an experience coming into a team that was learning and working to grow. And he was able to maximize that group. And I think that as we continue to learn how to win and learn how to be competitive on a nightly basis, Monty can push us all to get better. And then when we get there, he can take us to the promised land.
Doug, you touched on something. He really does get the best out of the top players, and he did that even as an assistant coach here with some of those guys, Buchnevich and Thomas. How important is that? Because you're paying some of these guys really well and need the production.
Yeah, I would say that having that relationship with the top players is certainly a benefit for the coach. I think that the top players also respond to coaching, and his job is to get the best out of them. He's done that in the past. He's done it with players in Dallas. They had an excellent team there. He's done it with the guys in Boston, and he'll do it here. And the reality is, when you look around the league, there are difference makers on every team, and the nights that they're not a difference, then those are the nights you don't win.
Doug, what differences do you see in Monty from his days in Dallas to Boston?
I just think growth, maturity. He's obviously gone through things at the rink and away from the rink that defined who he is today. Going into Boston, you couldn't have had a better start and then a worse ending, all in 1 year. And then how he responded and got that team going again the next year was very impressive. Talking to the people that I know around the league and around his team, he has an even keel. He's ready to push the best players to be the best they can be. But he has a relationship that can make everyone feel important on a team, which is key. So I just think, quite honestly, that every day you gain more experience and you gain more knowledge of the league and of yourself and how to become better. He's a relentless worker, and he's someone that thirsts for knowledge. And he's someone that does a lot of networking in a positive way, trying to get better, trying to learn how to get better, trying to get the most out of his coaches, the most out of his staff, the most out of the players. He and I have stayed in contact over the years. And I always enjoyed talking to him because he made me think, and I think that excites everyone in our organization that we have the ability to work with someone that's at the top of their profession.
Hey Doug, I think a lot of people are going to view this, like you said, you went out and got a top tier coach when he was available, but some of the reaction today around the league and in St. Louis has been kind of musical chairs. How do you view the fact that it's been 3 head coaches in less than a calendar year? Yeah,
obviously, I think the one with Craig, I think that hearing Craig after, it was a heck of a run, and a change was needed. I think Drew coming in and doing a good job as the interim coach was positive. We went through the process of last year of thinking about other coaches, and I came back that Drew had done enough to warrant the opportunity to learn on the job here in the NHL, work through that. And as I said, I woke up Wednesday morning. I had no plans on doing this type of a news conference at all, except a coach that I believe is a difference maker became available, and we reacted to it. So I certainly understand. I understand if that's how people are viewing it. But having a 5-year deal now with Monty and knowing that like I go back to when Hitchcock came in, like coaching is not an issue. Coaching, that if there's an off ramp of an inexperience, that is no longer there. We have a top level NHL coach, and now it's time for all of us to do our jobs and support him because I know he knows.
Army, I think when Hitch took over, he went on to win the Jack Adams that year. We all know what happened when Chief took over as well. Do you feel like there's enough runway and for him to get his coaching across to get these players playing at the level you expected coming into the year?
Yeah, I think like when Craig came in, that was a perceived on paper to be a really good team. Like people were picking us to win the championship prior to that season starting, and we were underperforming to a large level that year, and he got us organized, and then we became the team we thought we were going to be. And that was a mature team experience. You look at the players we brought in that summer, from O'Reilly to Perron to Bozak. There's another couple of guys. The big rig came in. Like that was a team that was focused on competing for a championship. I think when Ken came in, the parallels are a little closer. Younger players, defining players. He was going to work with them and show us the guys that we wanted to move forward with. Push and prod, and I think that's what Monty's going to do. And like Ken, when we get the proper pieces in play, he can coach them. He can coach them up to compete with the top teams. So again, I think it's very important for me to say that our vision of where we're at has not changed. Is when we said that we were going to retool whatever was going to do, like bringing in Monty today doesn't put Dvorsky, Snuggerud, Theo, Otto any closer to playing. That comes with maturity. What it does is it gives us a really good coach for today and for tomorrow.
Hey Doug, last night 13 times in 22 games, 2 goals or fewer. Why do you think there's been such a lack of offense, and what can Monty do to turn that around?
Well, we scored a power play goal last night, but I mean, you have to get your power play back up and running into the top, at least to the NHL average point. That adds, half a goal a game or a goal a game, and then, I personally think that we have to play more in front of the net. I think we have to get pucks more to the net, but that's me that's Monty's job, or to find out how to tweak the offense to score goals. But doing a lot of scouting this year, I realized where goals are scored from, and I believe myself that we try and pass the puck into the net, and that's JR, like to pass the puck into the net, it has to be perfect, and it's a game of not perfect. So I think we have to get more pucks at the net. We have to go into those harder areas, and we have to embrace what the reward from the punishment to go into those areas. So I think directing more pucks at the net and playing in a harder area is going to be important for any team to have success in today's NHL.
Hey Doug, along those lines, in what ways do you envision Monty helping Jordan Kyrou grow?
I think what he can do is he can share his experience of working with top players in the game, and what made them top players, little subtle things that they did to exploit the defenders. Monty was a skilled player also, so he understands the nuances of trying to produce, and also the responsibility of trying to produce at this level. So I think he can hopefully unlock some of the things that can help not only Jordan but all players maximize their talents and get them to the areas where we believe they can get to.
Doug, I know Monty was in a different situation over the summer. How much was he in topic of internal discussion with you guys?
Somebody was cutting in there. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I know Monty was in a different situation over the summer. Or how much was the internal discussion point for you guys?
He really wasn't, because he had a job. So I mean, I don't spend a lot of time on the wish list of what's out there. You know, the grass isn't always greener. You know, the grass is greener. So I didn't, quite honestly, I didn't spend much time thinking about Monty this summer.
Hey, can I ask you about the fact that you really gave Monty an opportunity a few years back to come to St. Louis, be an assistant, and then to see him take advantage of that, not only with you, then in Boston, and now kind of go full circle to have him back here. I mean, are you excited as well, just from that standpoint, to have him back in the organization?
Yeah, I am, and again, it's not for me to be proud of someone, but I'm very happy for Monty that he took a dark time in his life and made it something very special. And throw hockey out. His, talking to him about his relationship with his family, understanding what's important in life it's something that we all strive to be, is what he is now away from the rink, and then giving him the opportunity and having him seize that and take advantage of it and take advantage of every day. That's impressive, and we're here to support that. And I give Mr. Stillman a lot of credit. Like when we've had other people in our group, and Mr. Stillman is a great proponent of second opportunities. Not blind faith. Do your homework, but one mistake doesn't define someone's character, and so I thank Tom for having that outlook, which is special. And then I look at it like Monty, who's taken full advantage of that, and now, quite honestly, that is way far in the rearview mirror. Doesn't come up anymore, because it's a battle that he deals with on a day-to-day basis, but it's not something that we talk about because of the great strength that he has now and what he's done since getting back.
Hey Doug, you mentioned Broberg and Leddy. I believe they're both skating this morning at Centene. Do they seem close?
That's a great question. I wish I had the answer. I'm not sure what close is anymore. They're skating, which is a positive. They're not on the road trip, which is a negative. So again, I'm not trying to be evasive. Like when Nick went out, we didn't think it was going to be that serious, and it's taken a lot longer. So there's ebbs and flows and all these things, JR. And the positive is they're skating, and we hope to get them back as quick as we can. But again, we can't worry about when they get back. We have to be prepared to work tomorrow night, and then when they get back, that's a bonus. So that's a really bad answer to a really good question. Sorry about that.
So how much convincing did you have to do for Monty not to wait until the summer and wait till more jobs were available?
Like I didn't beg Monty to coach the St. Louis Blues. Our conversations were strong. We have a good friendship. You know, he asked me questions, I asked him questions, and we got to a point where everybody was comfortable. But it wasn't like I didn't beg him to coach here, and he didn't hold us ransom to coach here.
The players have now gone through this twice in the last in the last 12 months. What has your message kind of been to them, and have you had a chance to talk to some of them since this happened this morning?
Yeah, what I met with the captains, Alexander Steen and I, and Monty on the phone, met with the captains. We're going to have a team meeting here tonight when Monty gets in from Boston. I guess the message, again, it's sort of very reminiscent of when Ken came in, is that coaching is no longer inexperienced. Like, you know, there's no off ramp with the coach. He's a hell of a coach. You know, the game is old, 100 years plus old, and he's got the best record in any one season. He knows how to coach, and so that if there was any question marks about that is gone now. Now, you know, Monty has lobbed the ball back to myself and Alex and all the players to do our jobs better, because we know we got a hell of a coach. All right, everybody. Well, I thank you again for joining us on a Sunday, and I'm quite comfortable this is the last time I'll be doing this with you guys. So you guys take care and have a great day.